It's so
really
hard.
difficult. Yeah.
It's so hard to say no. And like, also just another thing, right, that I got to give you credit for, and I'll give it to you on this live, right, which is just like, one, like understanding the value you deliver, right, and then like sticking to the price. Well, like I knew that I was at this price, right, but then when you're dealing with someone who, you know, maybe wants a deal or whatever, or they just want 1,000 less or whatever less, and I just like, it doesn't even hurt to say no now, because it's like I can't even fulfill this. So like, even if you're not even at my price, like no, like I can't do this. And like, it's even hard like when someone's like willing to pay the price, you're like, 30 days, like give me 30 days to find a system and a way to get this thing running for you, like we'll get there. And just even now what I'm doing, instead of like pushing that on people like to make them wait, like now I'm just doing a voice of the customer audit until I can get the media stuff ready, which is like, all right, let's ask a bunch, like I want to interview 12 to 15 customers. Here are all the questions I want to ask so that we can get concepts that actually move the needle for you. And concept is a sales pitch, right? An angle, a reason to buy. So it's literally talking to these customers and using their words, because sure, even the company will give like, hey, here's the market research that we did. This is what we think it is. But it's like, yeah, but like that's a survey with like 4 responses. How many of them are open response? Like they also know they're getting interviewed by the company itself.
Yep.
So the amount of insights being able to be pulled from that, one, as a strategic way to make the ads more relevant to the audience, but two, as a way to also just like not bottleneck or give false expectations of when launch can happen, right? Because even if there's a client's like, hey, I need you to be live in 2 weeks. It's like, well, unless we know what we're testing, like there's probably not a reason to start right now. Or like, what's the urgency to start right now, right? Like, if you're so urgent to start right now, like, why is it? Let's see if there's a placeholder solution for that right now. And hey, like, if you're just looking to spend this money, like, can you just reserve it till the next 30 days? And like, let's just loop that in so we have additional spend up front, so that we're not really tight on budgets and trying to see how many concepts we actually have spend for. It's literally all like the mindset stuff. I was total woo-hoo-hoo, ha-ha-ha, Kool-Aid sipping like at the beginning.
Sure, yeah.
And it's really, it's just such a way of just approaching problems, right? Like just approach this problem, like this is the answer. And understanding that you're not going to have the perfect answer every single time. Like there's a quote I actually recently heard, which is, this is a good one for mindset for just anyone watching this in general, which is like, don't let someone's today be your yesterday, or something like that. It's like, don't compare where you are versus where somebody is, because they were where you were months or weeks or days ago or years ago. So don't compare yourself like that, but also don't wait for perfection. Like if it's good enough, just go.
Yeah.
You don't need to wait.
If it's better than yesterday, why wait?
Right. And like what I'll even tell, and it's like, you can think of it right as like a crunch, right? You can think of it from a mindset crunch of like, all right, wow, we don't have enough assets. The client's asking me like, how do I produce? Do I know someone who can produce more assets, or like how many assets need to be produced? And you can just frame that approach as like, you know what, actually, like, let's be very nimble and very strategic with your budget and your distribution right now. And let's actually see what the concept should be. Let's look at some of your assets and if they can be repurposed or reformatted in ways that can fit these concepts, and don't spend any money on production. And once we're done with this test and we can see what are some winning concepts, not even necessarily that they exit proving ground on their winning elements, but we have a clear indicator that concept 1 through 2 are killing 3, 4, and 5, like just crushing it.
Yeah.
Let's wait till we get that data, so then you can spend the money on a quality production and know that's a good concept, versus spending the money on a video production and then it didn't even stick. Like this doesn't even resonate with the audience, right? So,
dude, yeah, I love that. I mean, I've dropped $100,000 to work with Kris Jenner. I've hired the Harmon brothers, and I lost my shirt both times.
Yeah,
I had a company where we got the receptionist to shoot a Instagram story in the kitchen, and that ad has made $3-4 million. For the same brand where we paid 6 figures, 7 figures to hire pros. Because at the end of the day, we did the research to understand it's not just crapshoot, right? Like there is a way of legitimately understanding what the market wants from you, right? Like Facebook's a market research tool. And I love that you mentioned that, because like going into the concepts, testing those things, validate the ideas that you have before making a big investment. Like you wouldn't just go into the stock market and throw $1 million at everything that somebody says is good. Like do some homework. Don't be upset if you do no homework, if you invest blindly based on what you think will work and you lose your shirt. Like you should expect to fail if you don't put the customer and your business partner as a priority in the conversation. Like, and what separates folks like you and Daniel and Kelvin and Tom and all, you know, Denise and Linda and Leslie and all these other folks, it's like why you guys are so successful, I think, is because you stopped putting like Facebook as like the end all be all, and you started to see how it measures into the entire system. And you also stopped treating like what you think is the best idea as the truth. And you started just letting the data lead the way and validating your investment before betting the farm on it. Because it makes tremendous difference. It's funny. Daniel, I remember we were talking on a call and he's like, yeah, man, Black Friday came around. My CPMs went up 50%. I got a domestic jewelry business. I'm paying like $13, $15 CPMs. And I was just like, do you understand how much people would beat their neighbor to death to get twice that CPM right now? And you're doing like, you're saying you in the ad copy. You're selling jewelry to women that are like 18 to 35, and you're seeing $14 CPMs because they went up 50%. Like, how are you going to fail when you do that? You know, I love it, man. I love it. And that's what we cover. And that's what I love. And you're doing that so well for so many people now. I love it.
Or like